I don't know if you've noticed these days, but comic books can fetch a big buck, and so that's why you got to know how to keep them in great shape. Walter is joining me today, and Walter is the owner of Big B Comics in Upper James and Overstreet Price Guide Advisor. Now, Walt, I want a book to look as good as new 50 years from now. How do I do that?
Marty, a few important factors you have to consider. You have to keep the book cool, you have to keep the book dry, and you have to keep it in a dark place. You don't want too much light on it.
So like my basement would be pretty good?
No. Your basement is a terrible spot for it. Your basement is damp. Your basement may have leaks. Your basement is a terrible place for a comic. Your attic is a terrible place for a comic because the temperature fluctuations, it gets really hot and dry, and in the winter it gets really cold, and pulp paper in the old days is way more fickle than the newer paper that they're printing comics on. So those old ones especially, you have to preserve them very well.
So I'm getting mine out of my basement today, but where am I going to put them then?
You know, in a house, it's hard in a house. I would recommend perhaps on the second floor in a good closet, nice dark closet, as long as you're keeping your house temperature all year at a roughly even amount, then you're okay in a closet.
And so I find the closet now, I just shovel them in?
No. This is where products for storing comics comes in. This is where comic bags, comic boards, this is where you're using this kind of stuff to properly preserve and protect your comics.
Okay, and so like what's the point of a board here?
Well, when you put a board in a bag, a comic into a board in a bag, then you tuck it into a box. They'll be sitting, like say 100 of them in that box, and they'll be there's no weight on top. If you stack them, it's no good. Yeah. So this way the box keeps them, tidy.
And they don't curl with the spines kind of curling around like books can. Okay, and so for the bags then, I notice on them, they say acid-free kind of everywhere.
Yes.
But what's,
acid-free is key. You want acid-free because, again, anything that you're putting paper onto, whatever that chemical on that thing you're putting paper onto will react to the paper, and it could damage your comic. So make sure if you're buying boards and bags that they're acid-free.
Okay, and so I've got some boards, I've got some bags, and just away I go then.
Well, I'll give you an example of how to do a comic. You put the comic flat on the board first. That way you protect it from any dog, catching any dog
So if there is a little nick already, you won't...
Yes. Yeah, then you take the bag, and very important here too is that you curl the top end up. Because if there's a dog ear here, and you don't want that to catch, right?
You'll still get it,
So you slide it in, flip it over, you take the air out. Air is no good. You want air out.
This is like a surgical operation we got going here.
Absolutely. Then you tuck it in to your comic box, put your box away, and throw it upstairs.
Right. In the closet, safe.
Safe.
And until 50 years, and I want to sell them.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, Walter, thank you very much for the tips and the guidelines. I know that I need to rearrange some things in my house when I go home. And there you have it to everyone out there. Remember, keep them cool and keep them dry. We'll see you soon.